What's going on, guys? Just a bearded one back with another beer review. You might notice the camera is in a different spot and may or may not be able to hear me as well as the last few videos. I don't have my external mic hooked up to my phone right now. I just want to do a little nightcap review, and I didn't feel like breaking out all the equipment right here before bed. But you know, I didn't even plan on doing a review, and got to watching some people on YouTube, my favorite YouTubers out there, and lit the fire in me. Had to do a beer review, and so I'm excited to be doing this one. This is the Ferryman from Orpheus Brewing. Cool little can there. You know by now, bad beer, good can, I'm gonna buy it. But I've come to realize real quick, if Orpheus Brewing is on the can, it's probably good beer. Orpheus is out of Atlanta, by the way, and they made a fantastic rainbow serpent. It was like a kaleidoscope sour, I would describe it as, that I reviewed. Delicious beer. Thought it was fantastic. I have their Cherry Atlanta, which is a cherried sour, in a pint can. I bought a 4-pack, and I have the final single of it in my fridge, and I'm just waiting to find some gumption to review it. But with this being Stout month, I kind of want to get my stouts out of the fridge. Now this one's going to be interesting because it's an imperial stout, but it's got ghost pepper in it, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cocoa nibs. So, you know, when it comes to food, I've really been into the sweet and spicy flavor profile lately. And so this is going to touch on sweet and spicy for sure. We'll see how it works. I had a mango habanero wheat a year or two ago from Mark Twain Brewing Company, and it was pretty good. You know, I didn't know, whoa, this beer is violent. Goodness gracious. This can exploded on me. Look at that head. Wow. This was a violent can. Very, very dark brown, reminiscent of like a hazelnut spread or something. Interesting aroma. Yeah, putting it up to the light, can't see a lot of highlighting or different colors. Trying to get this thing to go down. I smell there's a peppery hotness for sure. Yeah, I smell that ghost pepper. There's chocolate. I smell, well, I get like a faint roastiness out of here. There's definitely spiciness going on. Beside the spiciness, there's also like a cooking spiciness. I should clarify that. I'm trying to find the ABV on the can. There it is, 10% alcohol. I was wondering if it smelled a little warm. Yeah. I'm trying to get this head to go down. I had a beer explode on me a while back, and that head just took forever. Like, I had to get a freaking taster glass to even taste the beer. So hopefully I can get this thing to drink. mean, again, the ghost pepper. I'm getting some of that cocoa nibby sweetness. I can't really pick up on the cinnamon. Yeah, I'm just gonna dive into it, guys. Excuse me for the foam stash I'm about to have. The first thing that stands out to me is the body on this thing. It's got a nice it's got a nice thick body. I mean, this thing pours out like motor oil. It's just a very violent beer. This thing, you know, it rises like a biscuit would in the oven, this head. It's just tremendous. The ghost pepper, the ghost pepper doesn't like blow me away, which I appreciate, and I don't know how much of that has to do with the aging on this thing. 12/18/2019, so this thing, you know, for a stout, I don't consider like 2 months to be that old. But I don't know if being 2 months kind of played on that ghost pepper kind of chilling out, so maybe fresh this would taste different. But they knew what they were doing with this beer. It's sweet and chocolatey. The coffee is really subdued here, but that doesn't necessarily make the beer like a pastry stout sweet. It's definitely got some bittering to it. They only use one hop variety, and it was Apollo for those who have to know what the hops are. And then the malt bill was just, I mean, chocolate malt. I think they used flaked wheat. I mean, there's just 7-8 varieties of malt in here, so it's definitely rich and complex and malty. Yeah, the coffee kind of bitters it up a little bit. There's just so much going on with that, with the mouthfeel and the malt complexity. It's just hard for me to kind of wrap my head around it. I feel like there's some caramel in here. I feel like maybe if there wasn't the ghost pepper, I could pick up on that nutmeg and cinnamon. I feel like there's just a wisp of that spice, that nutmeg and that cinnamon. And then just when I think that I can taste and recognize the nutmeg and the cinnamon, the ghost pepper gives this. I mean, I'm not kidding here. I know ghost pepper in your beer sounds intimidating or even gross, but the ghost pepper gives a pleasant heat to this thing going down. When I had the mango habanero wheat, it kind of torched my mouth, and it doesn't do it here in this Imperial Stout. Yeah, plenty of sweetness, again, from the cocoa nibs, the vanilla. There's no vanilla in here. They like to put a lot of vanilla. That's like a signature Orpheus thing. There's no vanilla in here. But there's, you know, that nutmeg, the cinnamon, the sweeter malt varieties. and that cocoa nibs makes it really sweet, but then they balance it with some of those darker, bitter malts. Maybe they burned up. I feel like there's like a burnt, thing going on here with that bitterness. I mean, it's just what was used in here as far as to balance this beer out. It's really bitter, but again, it's like not in your face. Like it's really cohesive. Where it's not a turnoff. It's not a turnoff either way. Where if you don't care about bittering, well, let me say it like this: if you prefer sweeter beers, the bittering's not going to turn you off, I don't think. And if you prefer bitter beers, this isn't like cloyingly sweet. And then that ghost pepper again on the way down as you swallow is pretty nice and pleasant, and it's not delicate, but I would say it's on the mild side. So you're definitely not going to get flamed out. You can definitely handle this beer. Overall, I liked this. To me, this is a novelty beer. Not something I would probably buy in a 6-pack. But just for the channel, it was fun. I don't regret the purchase. This is not a beginner beer by any means. I think novelty beers have a very specific niche in the market. I don't know if I could even recommend this to stout lovers because of that ghost pepper. But if you're in, I know like Stone Chocobase is out, and like there's a recent trend in like the hot Mexican chocolate. Was it Mexican chocolate hot stouts that came out last year, or at least they seem to blossom last year. If you're a fan of that kind of stuff, like the Stone Chocobase, give this a shout. You know, I know there's ghost pepper in here, but don't be afraid. You see me here. I don't have the greatest heat tolerance in the world, and I'm sitting here. You know, I can sip away on this thing. And you definitely get what you want out of this beer. It's pretty to the point, and I appreciate it. It fulfilled all my expectations. I don't like the really burnt stuff in here, that dark bittering in here. So for that, I'm gonna have to knock this down to like a 3.75 out of a 5. It's just a little too dark, a little too burnt for me. But I'm really excited that ghost pepper didn't blow me away. And then there's enough sweetness to make the beer complex and give it depth and really balance out that bittering. So that's all I got for this review, guys. Orpheus Brewing, the Ferryman, 3.75 out of 5. Until next time, guys. Cheers.